center at a couple of different DODs, two or three of them. And he's not only an excellent professional, excellent doctor in his field as a naturopathic doctor. He's one of the original users of Aoscan before he was even Solex. And we have a wealth of knowledge coming from him. Not only that, he is the one that organizes the Latin American DOD, if we can call it like that. It's a medical seminar that we hold in Quito, Ecuador, every month of November. This year is going to be our sixth event, which is going to be also, we get people from all over, about 12 to 13 different countries, all the surrounding countries in Latin America. We always get somebody from Solex to come over and give us some of their experiences and teach us about it. This year we're going to have Nadia Lutz coming over. Last year we had Lauren, Kai, Shelby. We had Deb Durfee, Dr. Darlene Lovell. So we have a really good event. Now Carlos has agreed with me to put together this presentation for you. So hopefully it'll be excellent information for you. We're going to talk about different things. We're going to answer questions. So give it up for Carlos Jaramillo from Ecuador.
All
Carlos,
righty.
much.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Guri. In English, we call him Guri. In Spanish, we call him Agus. Well, that's the way I call him. So welcome, everyone. Um, I am recording this presentation for future reference. So don't worry if for some reason you cannot attend or you cannot stay. We will be reviewing this. I will be sending this to Guri, and then he can share with you the presentation. Okay. So let's do a quick review. Give me some feedback, Agus. You think it's fair enough? I mean, the presentation is
I
okay?
can hear you really good and the presentation is really good. This is what we do every couple of weeks because we usually get a lot of new people. We go over, the general information about the technology, a little bit of what quantum physics and how this whole thing works, and then we dive into very specific categories. So we're going to try to do the same just for you to, even though you've been using the AOSCAM for a long time, but it's always good to learn a little bit more on the whole concept, on how it works, why it works. And then we're going to jump into all the different topics and categories and questions and answers.
Questions and answers, I think, is going to be the best for the users. Okay.
Yes.
So basically, what I would like to introduce this moment is a quick review of the electromagnetic field that we live in order to understand that we as human beings have a very limited range of vision and hearing, even though we are surrounded by a whole amount of frequencies and vibrations, as in radio frequencies, microwave, mobile phones, Wi-Fi signals. We are all surrounded, and our eyes can only see a very small range of since the infrared up to the ultraviolet, and then all the rest of the spectrum, we're pretty much blind and senseless. So we are certainly living in a constant world made of waves of vibrations, and generally there's big two types of these frequencies. One is transverse, and the other is longitudinal, which these vibrations can be short range or long range. The ones that we use in the AOScan, of course, are scalar waves, which can go through walls, go through countries, maybe through planets, who knows. But we base our studies and our understanding of frequencies based upon the knowledge that we have had of previous works of luminaries, I say, in the scientific aspect of the world, like Nikola Tesla, who has given us a bunch of patents on technology he developed. He was a very mystical and very special man. But the fundamental is that energy is all that there is. And also other thinkers that have contributed to this idea of using the frequencies as medicine. Guri, what would you like to add on to this?
Yeah, this is nothing new. We've been using for a lot of people, they don't understand that this is actually technology out of nature that's been around for ages. They think it's something new, but really what we've been able to do with the new technology, being able to access all these different possibilities to the point that Solex has made it possible to carry it in the palm of our hand. So that makes it a lot more or a lot easier to use and a lot more accessible to a lot of people. But basically, something that's been around for a very long time.
So basically, what we can investigate or we can review for you is what is frequency, because that is very important to know the basis of what it is. And what we always tell people is that any event that can be measured is a frequency. Like in physics, you measure in hertz. Like 1 hertz would be one cycle of an action carried out in a second. That's why we say 1 hertz equals one cycle per second. So if you listen to your heart and your heart beats at a certain rate, we can talk about the frequency or the heart rate. So words frequency, rate, and vibration pretty much are very similar for the understanding of our technology. Now we have to know that our body emits biofrequencies. They are very tiny. They are very tiny. But biofrequencies are electromagnetic impulses, okay, that are related to the functioning of the human body and to health. Okay, we can take the stethoscope and listen to the heartbeat. We can also listen to our breathing. We can listen to the sounds of our intestines. But deeper, like how are the resonating sounds of our nerves we cannot listen to, or how is this cell emitting some sort of vibration we cannot hear. So we need to resource, or we need to get to the studies that have previously been done about the biofrequencies. And generally, we can say that there is technology now to be able to measure how a healthy body is vibrating in general. When we go to a neurologist and when we do neurology work, we know that the electroencephalogram is measuring the delta waves, the theta waves, the alpha, beta, the gamma waves, which is the domain of neurology. And that is a fact. So EKG is a fact. I mean, you're measuring frequencies, brain waves is a fact. When you have a problem with your muscles and you go to a specialist doctor and he orders some sort of muscle electrical activity exam, that is also carried out in frequencies. So there is enough and sufficient data to believe and to prove that medicine frequency is something real, Guri.
Yes, and we actually have the ability to feel it every single day with our Aoscan device, and we've all been able to get the benefits out of it. Frequency, it's all over. I mean, the chair you're sitting on, the table where you have your computer, everything is actually frequency and vibration, and because it actually comes from a live element. Eventually, that was something that was alive, either from oil, some mineral or something like that. It was alive. So he had energy and he had frequency. And remember, frequency doesn't get destroyed. It only changes into a new type of energy afterwards. So that's basically what we have, and that's how we deal with all this every single day in our surroundings.
We can say that our mitochondria, which are our very, very, very tiny corpuscles that are inside our cells. They are working every single day, producing ATP, and that is the electron transport chain. And of course, all these processes generate movement of electrons. Okay, and this movement of electrons really are emitting certain frequencies, same as electricity. Electricity pulses at 60 cycles per second or 60 hertz, So within ourselves, we are transmitting and we are producing that. I think one of the first discoveries was the Kirlian photography. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but back in the 40s, this was done in Russia. This scientist that was a photographer and accidentally discovered the plasma effect of high voltage being applied to a human body and imprinting that as a picture and seeing the yellow or the corona that within time developed into a very interesting way of assessing the energy, which is the Kirlian phenomena, the Kirlian camera carried out by the Kirlian couple, Simeon Davidovich Kirlian and his wife Valentina in Krasnodia or Krasnodar, Russia. So they started placing objects, on top of the plates and seeing how the object would vibrate the energy. And of course, the hand of the people, okay, was subject to a high voltage state, and then the invisible aspect of that energy would reveal. And up to this day, there is excellent improvements in that particular technique. Also, the traditional Chinese medicine, there has been attempts of measuring the flow of the meridian of the body, of the meridians of the body. Chinese medicine goes back to 2,500 years ago, and they have discovered that the acupuncture points and the acupuncture meridians are irradiating terahertz. And it's quite interesting because we do have terahertz devices. But one study using bioimpedance spectroscopy on 30 healthy people found resonant frequencies along all these channels, all these meridians. So, for example, the small intestine or the gallbladder would be resonating at 28.3, 23.2 hertz. So each path or each flow of Chinese meridians are also bringing frequencies. So if there is a frequency, you can measure that, which is interesting. You could be also finding the relationships between the Chinese study from the ancient texts, like the Yellow Emperor. They would tell you that it belongs to an element, and that element belongs also to a musical tone and to a reference frequency. So it's very interesting when I saw that the Aoscan technology had the possibility of measuring certain acupuncture meridians and finding the resonance. I was fascinated, Goody, because traditional Chinese medicine talks about five elements, five tones, five phases of energy, and now we have this assistant technology that can help us to assess better these energy patterns that were visible for the ancient Chinese, but I think quite invisible for most of us. So it's like a confirmation, and it's also very sweet to have a technology like that. What would you say to that?
Yeah, and Aoscan gives us the opportunity also to get a report from the meridians. And the meridians have two sides to it. The physical side, which is going to talk about, different symptoms or possible imbalances on the body physically, but also all the imbalances in the emotional stage. So many times, actually, I don't know, 99% of the times, after you see a report from Inner Voice, you're going to see a lot of very similar results on the emotional part of the meridians. Once you see when there's either a double red or a double blue on one of the meridians, that the emotional part of it is going to be very similar to the reports we're going to get on the Inner Voice. So it makes a lot of sense to connect the dots and being able to identify the meridians as another way of dealing with different either illnesses, injuries, or anything on the body that might be unbalanced.
And the whole idea of having this technology is merging the ancient with the new things, because the fundamentals of how the bioresonant platform operates, it really operates from the quantum physics understanding. So for us, it's very important to remember that we are standing on the shoulders of people like Professor Rutherford that discovered the atom as a frequency system. Back in the day, the Greeks gave the name of atom, something such a small particle that cannot be divided. But later on, with the advent of the studies in the 20th century, we now know that this atom can be divided, can be understood. Okay, and these principles are valid because they have been proven mathematically, and they became known once Rutherford revealed the structure that there is a nucleus, which is a proton neutron nucleus, and then there's the electrons and the negative electrons, and then of course the vibrations of the other different small particles that explain that really the matter is a vibrating energy. This is another physicist from France, de Broglie, in 1924. He spoke about how the waves and how the energy can behave, as a wave or as a particle. So when we talk about the fundamentals of bioresonance, we are saying that if we are coherent and if we are balanced, of course, we can have health. As easy as that. We can go deeper into that. Maybe, Goody, you want to comment about Raymond Royal Rife. I know you're acquainted with his work.
Yeah, very much. This is some sort of amazing work that we've seen from this gentleman. He was a scientist. He developed the first very strong microscope, and basically what he was doing, he was seeing in his microscope little either bacterias or viruses, and he would play actually frequencies, different frequencies until the specific particle that he had under his microscope exploded. So he made a note of that. So that's how he became with his very first original. He was only 14, the first original, and then he became more than that. So he was able to actually, he was challenged by a group of doctors and scientists to heal 14 kids with terminal cancer. And he treated them all with frequency. And after a few months, every single kid was free of cancer. Everything had been gone away just by using the frequencies. Unfortunately, a lot of his work was destroyed. He was prosecuted, and he had a lot of legal issues because of that, because medicine and all the pharmaceutical industry didn't like that only frequency could heal anybody. So, but the kind of work that he left behind is just amazing. It gives us a lot of information. So if anybody has questions about this, try to look for Royal Raymond Rife. You can read a lot of information from him, and it'll be amazing the kind of stuff that he can do with frequency. And frequency, when you were talking about the atom and the nucleus of the atom and the core and all the electrons and everything surrounding there, they used to say that there was nothing in between. It was all empty space. Over the years, they discovered that no, everything in the middle is vibration, is frequency vibrating between one and the other. So that's why we are all, and we can be certain that everything is its frequency that is moving and energy moving and all the time.
It's a fantastic concept. I mean, imagine a neurologist. I mean, this doctor at the beginning of the 20th century, Albert Abrams, he had the resources to investigate on his patients. At first, he thought he was picking up radio signals, so he called his art radionics. Okay, because he thought the body itself would transmit pathological radio waves. So he had ordered to construct machines, devices for him to amplify these tiny little vibrations that he started feeling. And then he built the first device to block or to destroy the pathological radio waves that as he supposed. And he discovered this, what he called rates. Rate would be a frequency, but he was trying to tune in with his devices. And later on, I think he was the first one that used human biologic tissue, as in blood, saliva, piece of hair, and to analyze that radionically without the presence of the patient, which started a whole new school of thought. Okay, and he discovered, he stated that disease first appears as a frequency imbalance. So what he developed was some sort of technique that would invert the wave of the diseased tissue and try to cancel it. So he was talking about pathodynes, okay, and he was also talking about breaking the pathological disease vibration imprint frequency, whatever, he was calling that pathoclasis, which comes from the Greek pathos, Greek, and class placein, which means to break up. So he was trying to find those vibrations that would be opposite and would destroy the pathological radio frequencies that he found. So I think that's very important because that's the basis of what Aoscan is, Guti.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody that is with us today, if you know that 15, 16 years ago, the Aoscan, which was the original device generated by, the Russian technology, we used to require from, I mean, if we wanted to do anything from the distance, we used to ship in the mail 3 vials to the client, and they would have to send some hair follicles, a little bit of urine, and a little bit of saliva. Then we would get that, put it in what we used to call the lab uh, for the AO scan. We would actually plug that into the original AO scan, the one that used to be the big 36, $37,000 machine. And that's how we used to get the results to do remote scans. Now, well, you all know we can do it just by connecting, a specific profile from the information from somebody, connect them with the voice, picture, and everything else. We can now run the scan, do optimizations, and even play a whole bunch of frequencies to help balance whatever issue they might have. So the technology has become way better and easier over the years.
So what is the Aoscan? What really is the Aoscan? As we can see in that image, it says that it's just a technological tool that shows us how the body is functioning. Is pretty much what these older people that started the system, the scientists, post, and uh, we can use this technology to communicate with the body of our client or with our own body, and it's a very interesting and easy to use technique. And this ASCAN technology serves both to the healthcare professional and also to the lifestyle enthusiasts, biohacker, or you name it, coaches, by gathering information, and that information is stored into a very powerful cloud, interactive cloud, and AOScan helps to identify areas that might need attention. That's pretty much what it's all about. Okay, vibrations, frequencies, and everything can be measured in a vibration or in a frequency. So we can pretty much access this platform through our tablet or through the computer. It's not really a device. It's a platform, Woody.
Yeah, we used to require a specific device that you used to get from Solex. But basically, what they opened the technology so you could actually access it from any other device, any electronic device, anywhere from a phone, a tablet, a laptop, a PC computer. So now everybody can have access to it a lot easier, and they don't have to come up with a whole bunch of money. Like there's a lot of other devices in the market that are also good, that also do a lot of the same technology, and they pretty much have the same basis, but you really have to buy devices that are extremely expensive. So ASCAN will give you the ability to start dealing with all this technology with only a fraction of what the other ones are going to be price wise. But at the same time, with a lot more capabilities and a lot more benefits than all the other ones out on the market, because we have put together a whole bunch of different categories from voice analysis to homeopathy to affirmations and so many different abilities and capabilities that the AO scan has.
I think the most important aspect of the AO scan is the capacity of doing the voice analysis. I mean, that's what really got me because here in South America, I'm here in Quito, Ecuador, to see that there is this technology that has been into the studies for years, and now Solex made it possible for us to have a voice analysis. I'm like, oh my God, I mean, we are so blessed to have this because I started using the Aoscan because my professor of medicine, my preceptor, Dr. McWilliams, he calls me one day. I know this story, I've told this story many times because we were in the middle of the pandemic and my office was void, I didn't have any clients. And he calls me, he says, what are you gonna do if your clients don't want to come because of COVID? And we need to pay our bills. And I said, I don't know what to do. I mean, we are stuck here. And he says, there's this new technology called the Aoscan. I'm going to do a presentation next Saturday. Go ahead, invite some of your friends, and you can voice it over in Spanish. And that's how I learned about this great technology that uses voice analysis. Is the one that uses voice analysis, and it's a great thing. What could you say about the voice analysis, Guri? Because you've been with it for a while, and you know the ins
Yeah,
and outs.
when Solex actually was launched, just about 6 months before the AO scan was put out in the market, and when Lauren had the idea to make it portable, to make it like an app, the whole idea was to just have inner voice because how powerful it is. Now, as soon as he started to getting some of this all together, well, he decided to put a little bit of the vitals and then a little bit of the comprehensive in. And we only had I don't know, like a few, like a handful only categories in each one of them, but it was amazing. Now, the most amazing thing was the voice analysis. Voice analysis has basically the same principles that a lie detector has. It doesn't matter if you want to fake your voice. It doesn't matter if you want to sing or if you want to speak, if you want to cry or, yell or scream, whatever. What it's actually catching the vibration, the frequency coming out of your vocal cords. So our voice has the ability to record 12 different notes. And each one of those notes is connected to an emotion and to a color at the same time. And that emotion will start to somatize a lot of physical issues. Okay. So the emotion always is the first part that is going to start to suffer. Everything that is going to start to change, shift in our body is going to be based out of the emotions. And out of those emotions is how we can see a lot of different issues, even from the past, because we all have, I don't know, issues from childhood. We have some traumas. We have some abandoned feelings or whatever. So, based out of those emotions, we start somatizing different issues in our body. That's why the inner voice is so powerful and so important. Not only because of the tones that can be generated to start helping you balance whatever might be out of balance, but also because of the reports that you get in colors that you can actually wear, with the glasses and start to give this signal to your brain through the color that you need to start um, like balancing those emotions, starting to feel a little bit more in tune with whatever it's supposed to be, to release either anger, depression, any source of those feelings that we carry for a very long time and that we also use to generate all those physical issues coming from those emotions. So that is a really amazing tool which you should pay a lot of attention to.
And
Mhm.
it's really new. I mean, what really got me is that this is what makes the AO scan unique because there's, as Guri say, other devices and probably other names, but the one that makes this unique in particular is that uses a bioresonance. Because now in the market you have bioresonance machines that you can hold onto your hands, okay, which is okay. That's the original technique. There's another one that uses the hair follicle, which is also okay. But we have to remember that for any kind of heavy metal or any kind of bacteria get to the hair, it takes months. So they are okay, but the actually the voice, is like it can change every moment. I mean, if you had an issue in the morning with some sort of personal problem and you feel out of balance, you can perform the voice analysis and it's recent. So the voice takes all what the person reflects. It's like a blueprint. It's like a yeah, like a dactylar
Fingerprint.
fingerprint. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very personalized. I think it's the most profound. So the platform, the Aoscan is a digital method that detects the organism frequency patterns and compares them with a database, with a standardized database. And when Aoscan finds discrepancies, okay, tries to apply those same corrective frequencies that the fathers of the radionic tried to do, like Dr. Abrahams, tried to correct it and bring it to a normal area. So in our office, we use this device. This okay. It's our famous osteoconduction
The
transducer.
transducer.
Transducer, yeah, we use that transducer, and medicine uses transducers also in ultrasound. I can say that there is also some aspects of bioresonance in an ultrasound because the ultrasound sends a wave, a sound wave that we cannot hear. That's why it's called ultrasound. We cannot hear that wave goes so fast, touches the organ and bounces back, and then the computer remakes or rearranges the frame that those vibrations touched into. Like if you want to see the fetus inside a mother that is pregnant, you go to an ultrasound and you can go as deep as to see the four chambers of the heart because you're sending a sound and that sound is rebounding. So it's pretty much the same. That's why I think that the AScan is good for everyone. It's good for a health coach, for a nutritionist, a chiropractor, a medical doctor that understands the technology, a naturopath, of course, and a homeopath, of course, and the public, the general public, Woody.
Yes. Actually, this whole technology started to be a lot more popular, not with health professionals in the US. It started more with, mom and dad wanted to take care of their family, kids, friends, and all that. So, as this became so popular and so effective, a lot more people started to notice that there was something about the AO scam that was generating some changes. So, up to the point right now that we have a whole bunch of different health practitioners, MDs of all different types of medicine using the Aoscan because of the abilities and the capabilities, and also because how easy it is to actually use.
I agree with you. It's really easy. I mean, if you teach a 5-year-old how to operate it, of course, not to read it, but at least to operate it. My two kids go ahead and play with it, and they say, "Daddy, I want to scan myself." So they go in and they use it. So it's very easy. And if you are oriented to natural medicine practice, for example, I mean, how valuable it could be just with the aid of your voice, run a scan and then find out which of the meridians are off balance and then get the report as Guri was saying, get the report, the easy report. We show these red ovals where you need to pay attention. Like in this case, for example, there's such an amount of double reds that you need to pay attention to, and that you compare to the person. We're not operating a Ouija board. We don't try to guess or divinate. I don't know the word. We don't try to do a guess. We just compare to your symptoms or what the person is feeling, or if you want to investigate a specific area of your body, you can ask, how is the kidney doing? How are the ribs doing? I use this a lot. For example, in my naturopathic practice, we consider that the teeth are connected to all of the organs of the body. So whenever I visually see there is a problem, or in the inspection, I would like to do that specific exam and compare to what is going on with the person. Sometimes even request an X-ray to go and see deeper what I cannot see with my own eyes. But definitely, the Aoscan is has made a before and after in my own practice, Guri.
Yes. Well, I guess you've been using this for a very long time. And one of the other things that is extremely appealing from Aoscan that is really easy to do is that it gives us the different opportunity to either go with a very easy scan, which is going to be faster and it takes a lot less steps, but it gives you only the details that the body is showing that need a little bit of attention. Now, when you run the easy scan, you're only gonna get like you were showing the double reds, the ones that for whatever reason the system was not able to balance or put back into balance, and they stay a little bit off. So that's how we start to follow through. Now, if you go one at a time, if you do first the inner voice, then vitals, then comprehensive or body systems, you're going to be able to see not only the ones that need attention or the ones that need a little bit more detail to look into, the ones and the nines and reds, but you're also going to see all the greens and blues and oranges and all that. And that sometimes can be a little bit overwhelming for a lot of people. So doing the easy scan tends to be probably the easiest way to start to scan somebody with the whole results. Now, if for whatever reason you want to go and look at the whole picture, once you finish with the easy scan, you can go back into each one of the other categories. You can open up vitals and it's going to show you the whole thing because it was completed. Same thing with comprehensive and same thing with inner voice. Or you can only stick with easy scan and look at the areas that need the more detailed information that you can actually look at and go a little bit deeper with your client. So it can be either way that it's going to be more convenient for you.
And the one aspect that really changed my practice is the possibility of running a scan at a distance. I
Mhm.
mean, that is what really made a difference, because now with the AO scan, now I have the possibility of helping someone that in the past I wouldn't be able to help. Like in this afternoon, I was running a scan over a little child in Colorado, and I'm here in Quito, Ecuador. The mother and the father contacted me because they're my old clients, and they know this stuff works. So they contacted me
Mhm.
because little Thomas was having a problem with her with his adenoids and tonsils.
Also.
And I mean, it's so incredible that if I show you the scan, and I can show you that, it shows there's a problem with the tonsils. And then if you
Mhm.
run the specific, which is system by system, because you can also work system by system. Okay, in that case, what am I going to be looking at? I'm going to be looking at the lymphatic, because the lymphatic is the defensive, and it's made of your tonsils, your adenoids, your thymus, your spleen, your marrow. Anyway, so I ran the specific on the lymphatics, and then I find what is attached to the problem, what's causing the problem, and it's a viral load in that case, for example. And it's so amazing. I mean, they look at that and say, "Oh, it's so precise." Yes, of course it's precise. You just need to have a little bit of training and understanding and how to ask the right questions. But this is also very nice, Guri, the possibility of running system by system. What would you say?
Yes, if we go through one of the categories at a time, and you want to look a little bit deeper into something very specific, that'll be definitely the way to go. Go into your body systems, and you can just pick the very specific category you wanna scan, and then optimize for somebody and get all the different aspects of it, which is very convenient. Carlos, I'm gonna ask you to go to the first or the main screen, please, if you can see it.
This one here?
No, the green one, the main screen.
Oh, okay.
Once we generate, and we all know that, yeah, this one on the left, we all know how to create a profile. You know, get the basic information from the client, get the name, get the address, height, weight, date of birth, picture, and everything else. I would recommend that once you create the profile, and once the profile and the name of the person shows on your scanner, open it up by clicking on the name. Open it up. The first option you're going to see is going to see it's going to be therapies. Hmm. Yeah, you can
Yeah, let me show them.
open it up. Mhm. Yeah, we can open it up. So once you click on the name, like if you're going to search or create a new one, the first category that you're going to see is going to be therapies and supplements. Open that, supplements and therapies. Yeah, supplements and therapies. Open it up and then go to the third icon, which is the little book on the right. Open that up and then select all the categories. Select them all. Once you select all the categories, go to the bottom of that list, all the way to the bottom on the right, it says, record or save this list. What you're doing when you do this, once you add this list to your client, you have a whole bunch of the library of supplements, homeopathics, and a whole bunch of different sets of frequencies already available for this particular profile, for this particular client. So when you run the easy scan, you're not only going to get the results, the double reds that need attention, but you're also going to get a lot of the different homeopathic remedies. In this case, we're showing five of them, and also it's showing you zymes, and it's showing you what else? Yeah, Aozymes, take 3 a day or something like that. But by just doing this very simple step, once you run the scan, the system is going to pick up whatever homeopathic remedies that person is resonating with. And once you get them, you can start imprinting into water, into, I don't know, whatever you're going to be imprinting into, Cephi dots, into the bracelets or whatever. I've even done it in gum, chewing gum for people, imprinting the frequencies of the homeopathic remedies, and actually they start getting the benefit right away. The other day, my wife was feeling a little uncomfortable from her stomach. In the morning, I prepare a tea for her, put the cup of tea on top of my phone, generated this kind of frequencies, gave her the tea, and a couple of hours later, she was feeling 100% better than what she was feeling just by imprinting those frequencies. So, an extra step that you can do after you generate the profile will be to download that library into your client, so you have the ability to get these results right away once you run the easy scan. So that's a good tip that I don't know, some of you might be doing it already, but if some of you are not doing it, that's a great way to start generating, because the system will actually pick up whatever the body's resonating with and what kind of remedies you're resonating with, and you need it in your body to start balancing or feeling better. Thank you,
True, and,
Carlos.
and 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 you can decide what you need to imprint, or you look at the first one and you tell the client, "Look, my friend, there is a little fungus there called Candida that we need to take care of." And then
Mhm.
this other remedy, Eupatorium, which is a remedy for breathing and for nostrils and for congestion. And then you ask the question, because as I said, this is no Ouija board. Okay? Do you have symptoms in your nose? And they say, yes, oh yes, I do feel congestion. Okay, and this ignatia, according to homeopathy, it's a remedy for somebody that hasn't overcome past issues. like emotional
Mhm.
issues, people that have not forgiven or that have had a loss, like that they are grieving something. And then if you go deep into the case, of course, the first three, will give you enough homeopathic knowledge to start the case. Even though if you still have no deep understanding of that, at least you can start them. Okay, these other, for example, spongia is for very much for thyroid. And Natrium muriaticum is another remedy for congestion, for retention of water, and resentment as well. So we are
Mhm.
working on many different tiers of the treatment, not only addressing the physical part, but also the emotional aspect, which is also very interesting, Woody.
I'm also reading some of the comments here. We can also add the supplements as well into your library. Yes, you can do it one by one, but this will take a long time. Inputting all the information, the supplement, the doses, and everything else, and that's great to do it. But that is going to take a little bit more time for you to do it. This way, it's going to give you the library that Solex already has recorded on the system that you can download it right away. And then when you have more time, you can start downloading your different supplements and everything else, even therapies. But this is the fastest. I mean, you can do it in 30 seconds and have it ready for your client. So when they walk out of your office, they can walk out with a Cephi dot or with your sugar pellets and your homeopathy remedies and everything else. Very simple, as well as generating, a whole personalized or a custom playlist that you can generate and imprint into anything else.
What
Mhm.
are we open to questions, Goody? We can. I know we
Sure.
have. We
Anybody, you can open your microphones and ask a question, and we'll be more than glad
Or you
to
can raise your
answer them.
hand, and then we we
And I
we
raised my
pick you, we
hand.
spotlight you, and then
Go ahead.
go ahead and talk.
Okay. When you're doing the imprinting, or can you imprint? I think I missed it individually or all at once. When you made the cup of tea, did you put all of the no sods and cell salts in that one cup of tea?
That little list of remedies that I got, they were, I believe, six. I did them all. I did all the six because that is what the body was resonating with at the moment. And then I grabbed a couple more from quantum frequencies and I put them all together. You can do it. You can do up to 10, up to 15 in a list that you can record, but I usually like to keep it a little bit lower than that, between 9, 10, or 11 tops. I don't like to, put way too much in it. But out of this report, the one that we were just showing you out of the easy scan, those that come up in that scan, those are great because that is the first thing that the body is resonating with. So imprint those, all of them.
Okay,
And
thank you. Thank you.
yeah, you're very welcome. Anything, anybody else? Questions?
Hey there,
We're
I have a question or two.
Sure.
What's your thoughts on frequency stacking and how to figure out what the nervous system needs and how they're doing with it? And I know there's lots of different protocols and lots of different practitioners, and they learn it in so many different ways. But
Right.
I'm looking maybe for more like frequency resources, specifics. Um, what do you think?
What I would do, first of all, and before anything else, we don't want to do the same thing that the pharmaceutical industry is doing. We're not only going to look into the symptom. Of course, the symptom is something that we need to look at, but it's extremely important to look at the results you have, like from inner voice, because you're going to see a
Mhm.
lot of issues. If you see like a lot of grief or sadness or anything like that, and somebody comes to you with lung or respiratory issues, well, there's a big connection between that. If you only go and deal with the symptom itself, you might leave a lot of the possibilities out. So when you look at I don't know, talk to him, ask him if there's some grief, if there's I don't know, somebody must have probably, passed in the last few months or got a divorce or I don't know, any issues like that. So and they come to you with some lung issues and all. looking at the results that you get from inner voice will kind of give you a bit of a route on how to start looking for the source. Another very good element that you can look at when you run comprehensive, if we can, well, we're looking at the inner voice. When you get all the reports from the inner voice, here, this last four categories, not only the way the emotion is showing up and what those emotions are going to generate, but also potential causes. Potential causes, and what you see in vitals here, most likely it's going to be a deficiency. So there's a deficiency in vitamin A, but there's also a deficiency in beta carotene, and you can start picking up the information that you're getting from the client. Most of them have issues with hydration. It's going to be a big one, and hydration, it's very important, but not the way they told us years ago, oh, that you need to drink at least 3 liters of water a day or something like that, because that is not really the way it's supposed to be, because the body has about 7 to 8% of electrolytes, minerals, and salts, and all that. So just imagine it like having a cup of tea or having a coffee with only 1/4 of the cup with coffee, and then you pour all this water into it, and when you drink it, it's going to be mostly water. The coffee is almost gone. You don't feel the taste of nothing. You are diluting the coffee. And when we start drinking just water, like bottled water that has absolutely nothing, no salts, minerals, or anything like that, you're just doing the exactly the same thing. It's diluting everything you have in your body. So try to get a little bit of electrolytes and something with your water, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of sea salt, so you can actually hydrate with minerals and everything else that the body needs. So that's very, very important. So by looking at these different options, you can start generating the list of frequencies, the custom playlist that you're going to be either imprinting or broadcasting for somebody, not only because of the symptom. So that'll be something that I definitely look and ask about the possible causes of anything. When did you see that this started happening? And they can say, well, I've been having it for a couple of weeks or a month or something like that. And something happened, a couple of weeks or a month ago, that has started to change something in their body. And it could be most likely a very emotional issue that the body started to somatize the imbalance with illness or with something happening with the body. So look into that possibility, and it'll be a lot better.
The way I do it is I ran the um, easy scan, which does the three things, right? And right after that, I go to the specific. This is the case I was telling you about a few minutes ago. Okay, I was scanning this little boy that is in Colorado. Okay, and the main concern of his parents is that he's snoring, or he was snoring at night. He was not sleeping well. He had his tonsils really swollen. So I go into the specifics, and then I see what is showing here. So lymphatic body, what is showing me? It's showing me the
Carlos, they're
lymphatics.
asking if you can switch it over to English, please.
It's not in English.
No, it's not.
I thought it was in
Get
English.
out of it, switch it over, and then come back to it. Switch it to English now, and it should
Can you
be.
see? Can you see the English?
Now it is. Now it is
Okay.
in English. Mhm.
All right, all right. Yeah, I thought I changed it. Okay, anyway. So what
You
is showing
did.
me?
Excuse me. You did. But if you already open up the category and change it, it's not going to change. You need to go back to the menu, change the language, and then go back into the category so it'll open up in the right language.
Sort of reprint itself. So you see all these acutes? All these acutes is what the body is crying for assistance. Okay, of course. And this here, lymphatic vitals, for example, this is what the person is pretty much lacking. Okay. And then the causes, that is the load: influenza type A, rubella, herpes, and smog pollution. So my conclusion is, okay, we're going to clear the lymphatic system first. Okay.
Mhm.
And then I create the list of frequencies. And this is the list of frequencies I created for him. Okay. For him to
That's also
sleep
in
well,
Spanish.
Oh, it's in
But
Spanish.
energetic clearance,
Uh-huh.
sleep,
Let me
sleep
put it in Spanish.
good. Mm-hmm.
Let me put it. This changes immediately, so they can just see. Look at that. That's the list I created. It's the list by necessity. It's not really a protocol, or it's not really like a prefabricated list. It's custom tailored to the client. Okay, energetic clearing, sleep well, so he can sleep better. His adenoids, tonsillitis, sinus, lymph glands, and I gave him pulsatile and calcarea carbonica, and virus detox. So that's pretty much how I use. And then that is going to be transmitted like 3 times a week,
Broadcasted. Mm-hmm.
broadcasted, transmitted 3 times a week. Or if the person is close, we imprinting in globules. That's the way I use it.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I wanted to show you when we have a comprehensive report, if we can go to a comprehensive report, Carlos, please.
Yep.
When you open comprehensive, each one of the results that you get from comprehensive are going to show you the body part and a whole bunch of numbers, colors, and everything. But on top of that specific category you're looking at, it has a percentage to the right. Mhm. There you go. There you go. If we get a little bit closer.
Can you see?
Yeah, we can see it, but it's a little too small. So if you can bring it up a little closer, that'll be great. There you
Are you
go.
able?
All right. You see on the top right, there is a percentage from ideal. So we want to be as close as possible to zero. So if we see anything between, uh, teens, like 12, 13s, 14s, up to high 20s, that's okay. We all have imbalances and all that. When you start to see above 35, 40s, then there's something starting to happen. So the whole system might be having a little bit of issues. If you see 50s or if you see 60s in any of them, then you definitely don't want to go into body systems and run the body system and look into specifics because that specific issue is showing something happening in a lot worse case than all the rest of the body. So there's something to look at. So when you see um, something that is in high 30s, 40s, or 50s, start to pay more attention to. So this is an indication that you need to pay more attention to something. If they after like this one, like 40, the 41, that's the same kid, right?
Yep, same person.
Uh-huh. So 41 around the neck. You see, that means he's having issues in all this area around his neck with his tonsils, his lymphatics, his everything around his neck is showing a higher percentage than what it's supposed to be. So based on your analysis, your body system that you look at, it's actually telling you that it's going in that same direction. Same with the ganglia. Mhm.
There you go.
So that's a good tip you need to look at once in a while. Acute, yeah, acute means now or recent. Chronic, of course, well, it means that it's been around for a long time.
Also acute is what you need to treat now, and
Hmm.
probably let the chronic manifest itself out. Like what is curable right now is what is acute, or what you need to pay
Hmm.
more attention.
Yeah, whatever's showing up most recent, it's pretty much what the symptoms going to be showing you. Hmm. Questions? Somebody else? Anybody?
Hi, it's
Question?
Michelle. Hello there. Thank you
Hi,
so much for
Michelle.
doing this. Okay, so I love how you explained, you got to put the investigator cap on, and that's kind of what I do. And
Hmm.
so I love how you look, you showed the acute and the chronic, because when you start looking at the acute, you can kind of start making your notes on like what's really going on with this question. I mean, with
Hmm.
this client, and then ask the questions. Have you
Yeah.
had this going on? Have you had that going on? And that kind of drives you down towards the path you kind of want to start honing in on. And then you use um, comprehensive to kind of double check yourself. If I saw something in, in the lymphatics and the throat and all of that, then I'm going to go double check and see what's going on in this category. Then you kind of start making your assumptions. And then to Carly's question, you can stack. The issue with that is that the Herx situation that happens, if you put too much of something on someone, they're not going to respond just the same way you were talking about, Augustine, the coffee scenario. You can't do everything all at once. When you're looking at the acutes show you what's happening now and only address the maybe first two or three things, because once they have results, then you can move to the next thing.
Correct.
At that point, you can add, some stacking, whether it's, through Cephis or whatever, but I wouldn't put, like I said, 10, 20 different kind of Cephis. Kind of hone in on the Cephis or what you're trying to put together on the first two or three acutes first, correct? Can you kind of go through that? Maybe Carlos could explain, a one person like he's doing to kind of take him down the road of how he finds the symptom and then asks the question and then only does a frequency for that or a supplement for that or a whatever. And then you take 2 to 3 weeks to see how you're doing and then move to the next scenario, correct? Or are you scanning? At what time do you rescan? Explain those things so that people can kind of see that in a quick view.
If I have a client that's coming to my office, they are all expecting to have a remedy, so I produce the frequencies. I try to go around less than 10. Sometimes I do add more than that, but definitely, as you say, Michelle is correct. More creates just more noise. Okay, so we have to remember that some remedies, especially the homeopathic remedies, they cover a bunch of things. Like that's why the classical homeopath would only give one. Okay, if you understand the personality and how he sleeps and what he craves and what he rejects through a very complex system called repertorization. Okay, that takes time, takes practice, but we use the bioresonance, which is faster, which is okay to use as well. But then what we have is the option to choose 5, 6, or 7, or 8. Okay, I normally go just like Agustin below 10, sometimes 5, as you just saw that list I produced for that little boy. So
it was probably 6, huh?
So my first, if the case that I'm seeing is like a hard case, probably I call the person in a week. Okay, let me see how you're doing. If not, if it's a medium situation thing, okay, come in 15 days. So they will have the remedy for 15 days. Some people, some cases, I decide to give them automatic treatments through multicast, for example, and those are added to my list of preferred customers. Okay, but normally what I do is easy scan, body systems, custom tailor their frequencies, imprint, or bring them to therapy. Some cases I would like to see them 3 times a week for therapy. Therapy means they come to my office, they do their voice, they listen to their tones, they wear their color glasses, they use like a glove, an AO red light therapy thing, or the food detox,
660 band,
or the 660
illuminator,
band, or the PMF mat. I have two or three or four of the devices, so I put them there, and they carry on a diet, they listen to the frequencies at home, and then at the end I recheck in 15 days and see how they are doing, and the results are great.
Kaabot ka pa rin.
Yeah. Anything else? Any more questions? Anybody? Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle.
Okay, are you guys familiar with the brown noise frequency cleanse?
Yes. Frequency cleanse?
Yeah. Right. Could you explain that for me?
Yeah, there's different color frequencies or noises. Pink, white, brown. The reason why when you run your frequencies and you get brown all the time is because brown noise is the one that is more the one that is softer and the one that most everybody is going to be able to resonate with. You can switch it to anything you want, and that's great. That's not a problem. Now, but the brown, it's always going to be the most, let's say, the softer, the most general of all the different noises. What you do to improve that, scan on top of it, and it's going to tell you which one of the uh, tuning forks is going to be the one that resonates with you. And in this case, on this one is the third eye tuning fork. And then you can see that little eye will tell you what it is and what it does. It gives you a little bit of information what it does. But that's why the brown noise. Basically, what it's going to do is it's gonna tune your mind into like a more uh, peaceful, like a more peaceful state of mind, and it's going to help you sleep a lot better. Now, for a lot of people, using
Relaxation.
the pink or anything else might be good, or the white. They might like the white even more. And they can see that they have a better result sleeping, or they can sleep faster, or they can sleep the whole night without any issues if they use any of the different colors. But it's preset to brown because it's the one that resonates with most people easier than all the others.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
There it goes.
That's the sweep. That's the sweep.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
another question, Mr. Carlos. When they're coming in and you do the easy scan, the body systems, imprint, maybe figure out multicast, or if they come in 3 times a week, what are you charging for that, if you don't mind us asking? How do you start the process for that? I think it's hard for people to figure out, oh my gosh, what do I charge? How do I do it? If you can kind of give some of the people on here just an idea of where to start, like I started with $99, but I did the whole scan and I was like spending 2 hours on it. And they're going, I can't do what you do. So I like to be able to just break it down and say, hey, come in for a wellness checkup through bioresonation, or what is it you do? Kind of take us down the road on how you do it, how much it would cost, and how long you're with that client.
I'll be glad to. I'll be glad to.
Thank you.
First, Michelle and everyone, here in South America, it's not the same as in the United States. Of course, even if we have dollars, the power of acquisition of the people is not that much. So maybe you are going to be laughing, but that's my reality. My fee is $60, barely $60.
Mhm.
People that come to see me, if I was in the States, I would charge 200. Really. So 1 hour consultation in Quito is $60. That includes the scan. If I charge the scan aside or apart, they wouldn't be able to, because the general wage here is $400. Okay, the minimum wage. So $60 is my fee. I scan them within that. Now, this remedy imprinted $15. Okay, this remedy in water imprinted $10. Okay, one
Sefi
Cephi
dot.
$5. Okay, one session in the PMF bed, $15. One session in the food detox, $15. One session of therapy, whichever, is $15. Okay, so you gotta work your numbers. So if I see 5 clients a day times $60, that is my fee, that's $300 a day. Okay, most of you can do that in an hour, but here in Quito, if I raise, I wouldn't have clients, so I have to work the numbers. So 5 clients a day times $10 is $50 more. Okay, $50 per day times 10 days is $500, times 20 days is $1,000 of imprinted remedies. That's how I pay my 149 subscription fee. Okay,
I love it.
so that's how it works. You sum it up. Your consultation $60 plus this is $70. Maybe if I do other frequencies apart, that would be 75. And then I order the therapies. 10 therapies of food detox, for example. That'll be $150 if they prepay. So I make a day $500, $600 a day.
So do you
Another thing that I like to do, Michelle, is personally when I do a scan, I do $75 on the scan. I don't spend more than an hour, definitely never. I use the easy scan because that will make it a lot shorter. But I also include two more optimizations. You know, you can be here or not be here. I can do it, from the distance and just broadcast the frequencies to you, or you can come into the office and the optimization, you do it in what, 5 minutes it'll take you to get into your system, look for the client, bring it up, and then you can do the same thing, where the transducer optimize every single category, like vitals and comprehensive. Or if you want to play, I mean, the inner voice takes 12 minutes. You can play the four tones of the inner voice while they're waiting. Just have them laying down on the mat or whatever, just sitting down with the headphones and probably the colored glasses for less than 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, you get the whole thing. Optimization, a little bit of harmonical tones, and then in like Carlos was saying, if you do this in the U.S., you can definitely charge more than that, more than $100 to do this, and add one or two or three. It all depends what you do. I know people that charge $250 with, I mean, for the first visit, and then I don't know, $50 or $75 per additional session when they come back, because usually the first one is the one that takes the longest.
Yeah, yeah. I've gotten up to $6.99 for the whole scan.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. Really good.
Take me to the States. Take me to the States.
Come on over,
I
Carlos.
have
I'm
one
waiting for you. Come on.
Okay, I have one question here. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Do you charge to train your QLAs?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We do it out of just interest and love for what we do. Actually, Carlos takes the time to put all the slides together and all that. I take the time, like Fridays, a couple of hours. In my case, when we do it on Fridays with the Latin groups, I have one for 1 hour with all the whole Caribbean and all that, and then I jump into the whole Latin America Zoom for another couple of hours. We don't charge anything. Actually, that's how we encourage the potential QLAs to come on board, because hey, we're gonna train you, and that's how we do it. So even what we're doing here, same thing, because we love what we do.
Yeah, that's correct. We're passionate about it, and we really want to spread the word on frequency medicine all around, all around.
Yeah, we're really passionate about it.
Mhm. Denise,
Yes, Dr. Jaramillo. How are you? Remember me? I'm Evelyn Tablan's friend.
you need to open your camera so I can see your face, darling.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Where's my camera? Ooh. Hold on. I'm not techie here. Oh, God.
Somebody's asking, how can I join those calls in Spanish?
So,
Send me your information, and I will add
hey,
you to the
doctor.
WhatsApp groups, and we have all sorts of information. I remember you.
Hmm?
I remember you.
Of course. And I remember Dr. Jaramillo.
Yes.
He was a lecturer in my country way back when I was a holistic doctor back home in my country, in the Philippines.
In the
Oh,
That's
Philippines,
way
okay.
yeah.
back in the 80s. 80s, 90s. We met him.
1990,
Yeah.
1997 it was.
Yeah, we had a
1997.
convention and you were there,
Mhm.
Dr. Tablan. So my question is about the CEPI. Because with
Mhm.
me, my case is uh I work with a lot of remote in the Philippines. I do, and the time is really, it's evening here, it's morning there. I do a
Mhm.
lot of scanning remotely. So my question is about the CEPI. So I do a lot of CEPIs. I just look, I connect the dots with whatever is going on with the inner voice, I do also the easy scan. That's the easiest to
Mhm.
do. It's only 10 minutes. I seldom do the comprehensive, but my question is, how long do you run the Cephi, the tones? Like you make it for them, like you make a maximum of 15 vibrations, right? And you do
That's the maximum you can do. We usually
yes,
like to
but
keep
how
it lower
long
than
do you
that.
run it? Like if it's remote, there in the Philippines, how long do you run it in a day? Is it just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, or you can run it continuously? And which is the best? Do you do it simultaneously or individually? That's
If
my
you're
question.
gonna if you're gonna imprint, do it simultaneously because you can do everything in 20 seconds. If you do it individually, and if you have 10 different frequencies, it's gonna take you 2, 3 minutes to print everything. And if you're printing chakras, each chakra it's anywhere between 4, 6, 7 minutes. So that'll take a long time. But if you put it all together on simultaneous, you can imprint all the list that you have in 20 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever you want to imprint. I usually run 20 seconds and then run it again just to kind of reinforce the frequencies into what I imprint. Now, if you're going to be broadcasting, you can
Yes.
do anywhere from 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You can do it all night if you want. If you have somebody that has a very severe issue, you can run it all
Mm-hmm.
night. And the thing is not it's not going to bother you because you can even lower down the volume on the device and the
Uh-huh.
frequency will continue broadcasting without even listening to it. But um
So you can you do it, excuse me, can you do it on silent mode? So it's
yes,
not noisy in your laptop because that's what I do. I do it on silent mode
right. I mean,
because I run it the whole night.
yeah, if you go to bed and you have in your nightstand, you can just reduce, to silent, but the frequency and the fractals will continue to work, and the brain is still picking up the frequencies. That is correct.
So that's just amazing. Okay, thank you.
The, the one thing that you have to listen to is the inner voice results or the harmonical tones, and the noises you have to listen to because those have binaural beats. And what it is each side hears at a different level. I don't know. Let's say as an example, my right side hears at 15 hertz and my left side at 22. So those 7 hertz in between, those will become binaural, and those go not only into my ears, but those will go into my mind, into my brain. So that's what makes it more powerful, and that's why you want to listen to those frequencies with headphones. But when you're going to be broadcasting, you can just do it in silent, not a problem.
I've
Okay.
seen cases, that are difficult cases, like people in pain. I run it
Mm-hmm.
all night, run it all night. I
Yep.
think
Yeah.
it depends on the severity of the case, I would say. Like for
Yes.
most of the people, 1 hour, 2 hours, it doesn't take our effort. You just click and you can go do something else. I mean, it gets it out of your mind. So no problem if you do a couple of hours. I learned something from Lauren one time. He said that he had received himself a radionic session, and the practitioner had told him in a couple of hours you're gonna be good, and he did, and that's I replicate that. I always tell them in a couple of hours, talk to me in a couple of hours, you're gonna be good. So I ran 2 hours straight and I go play with my kids. And
Mhm.
and the system is doing the whole thing for me, which is awesome. And then you can, if you're in a computer, if you're in your laptop, you can open a new window. You can
Yes,
Yeah.
open a
That
new window and you can take care of another client.
yes.
yes.
And then you can open another window and then you can take care of
It's
another
really
client.
amazing.
It's,
Me.
it's, it's I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
super. It's super.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
I
you can do
agree
so
with
many
that,
things.
doctor, because I have like remote patients in the Philippines and I run like even 20 windows, all
Right.
running
Another
same
thing,
time,
another thing that is very,
anytime.
very important. Another thing that I would like to recommend, and I found this working with somebody.
Okay.
When you're working on a specific issue and there's a lot of emotion behind it, like if you're working with somebody that having issues sleeping, a little bit depression or anxiety or anything like that, look at the emotion behind it, but the emotion for very specific case. And I tell this story all the time because to me it was so amazing. It opened my mind, blew my mind so perfectly. This girl that I was dealing with, she had been going through a lot of depression. She was crying every single day. She wouldn't get out of bed, and she had been like that for about 3 or 4 days. So her mom gave me a call, and I talked to her. I said, "You know what? I had a big argument with my dad. Terrible argument. We fought and all that. So I'm extremely sad. And apparently, dad, they got into very deep discussion and created a lot of grief for her. So she was really sad. So I work up a custom playlist, and right away, I don't know, half an hour later or something like that, she was starting to feel a lot better. I ran this for about 2 hours, and later at night, she was feeling extremely good. Okay. So a couple of months later, she was going through a very similar stage, emotional stage. She was also very depressed. She was crying, stuff like that. And I ran the same set of frequencies. And, an hour passed and she's like, well, I still don't feel 100%. It's like, let's play this a little more. And it still, I mean, it worked, but it didn't work like the first time. So I talked to her, it's like, what happened this time? She had just been laid off her work, her job. She had no job and all that. And she had a lot of worries about finances and all that. So I switched the list. I mean, even though the symptoms were the same, the cause was totally different. So I changed the list a little bit into different things, more or closer to what she was having issues with at that particular moment. And the results were absolutely amazing. Half an hour later, she was 100% better. She was feeling extremely good. The symptom was very similar, and you can actually work the same set of frequencies, but the cause was totally different. So going back to the cause made a whole bunch of difference. I still ran, the depression, the love and peace and all that, but now I went into abundance and all those kinds of different frequencies, and the results were totally different. So not only work with the symptom, work a little bit with what the possible cause might be at the same time.
Thank
So
you.
that's
Thank
something
you.
that I learned that it made a lot of sense to me.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, I have one more question.
Sure.
When you are doing the inner voice,
Uh-huh.
okay, what is the average frequency for the vertigrounding?
Say that again.
When you are doing your inner voice,
Uh-huh.
what is the average frequency for the vertigrounding?
For the
You know,
verdi
for the vertigrounding.
grounding,
Yes.
are you talking the verdi 432 hertz?
When you're doing your inner voice, see the
Uh-huh.
vertigrounding there? And then there's
Let's
that
see.
little squiggly thing, and when you roll it down, how
Oh,
high
the
is,
verdi grounding up on top, up on
yeah,
top.
the
Mm-hmm.
vertigrounding frequency? What is the average amount of the vertigrounding frequency? Is
Um,
200, 300, or what?
everybody works in a different way, and the results for everybody are going to be different. When I get to this very particular area of the inner voice, I like to keep it as simple as possible. What the system gives me, that's what I use. If I start playing with, the different tones or different groundings or anything like that, uh, I might not be 100% because I might look into something very specific that I think is good, but it will not resonate with the client 100%. So personally, I like to keep it as the results come from the inner voice analysis that we do.
Yeah, because
Same with the wavelength. Some of them might like the sawdust shape or the square shape or anything like that.
Yeah. See
But
those numbers
sometimes
there? That
people,
was 329.50.
mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't
So
get the rest of
should
it.
it be
Sorry.
higher than that or lower than that? The 329.56. I
She's
know the
asking,
82
she's
is
asking
the
the average frequency of 329 and the pulse at 82. What's the difference? How do you read that? What does that mean?
The average frequency and the
That
pulse.
just means that's the product or the analysis that the voice did for that particular person.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The
it
average frequency.
means
It's
that
like
the
when you look
average
at the
frequency.
chart.
Yeah.
When you look at the chart, you see some of the frequencies jumping up to the top and another
Mm-hmm.
ones staying really low. You
Yeah.
don't change the tone of your voice when you're speaking. Okay. You actually, when you're doing your inner voice, you speak at one same tone of voice. But what the system is picking up is those changes on the frequency because it's not the tone, it's the actual frequency in your voice that is showing those highs and those lows. And people sometimes like, wow, why is it this high? I wasn't yelling, I wasn't screaming, or I wasn't speaking any lower than what I was. It's just that the frequency changes. The same thing happens with the vertic grounding. It identifies how your voice is recording the frequencies on the high level and the low level. And it's going to change every time, almost every time, because the emotions and everything also change.
Mm-hmm.
So is it true that they should try to kind of be together, like matched? Like, does that matter?
There's only one person that I saw that everything was about the same level. And this was a guy that meditated like every day. He was extremely calm. Uh, I was really amazed with his inner voice results because every frequency, every chart was showing pretty much the same. I didn't see much changes. And I did his inner voice 2 or 3 times. I don't know if the guy had, I don't know, he could probably beat the lie detector because how he could control his emotions and everything. That was the only one person that I've seen like that.
Awesome. Okay. Um,
And you get 4 out of the 12 every single time. If you do it again, one, two, or three might change, but most likely one of them is going to stay there solid, or they're going to change a little bit. But out of the four that you get on each inner voice, you're going to get changes every time you do one. Mhm.
thank
Anything else?
Harley.
Are you supposed to do anything with the average information, like the averages? Are you supposed to just do anything with that, or is it just information?
Just
It's just
information.
information.
Okay.
Mhm.
The other question, too, in a nutshell, can you explain that why a client would choose like the pulse tone options when they receive the email versus the inner voice, like all the different tone options? Is there a reason they would choose something different that would work better for them?
Well, they might feel that they resonate better, or they like the sound better, or they like the tone better. I usually like to keep it as just the pulse cycle, or the harmonical tones. That's what I like them to use the most. Because for a lot of people, they can play with different tones and they can play with different music on the background. They can play with different shapes for the frequencies, but not necessarily it's going to be the best for them. It's going to work, but the system is pretty much putting together everything that is going to work better. So balancing harmonics for me is the best way to go.
Yeah. Let them play. Let them play.
Yeah, let
Let
them
them
play if they
so,
make their
want.
choice.
so
Yeah.
the verti grounding and the pulse, they both still have the same tone behind it. It's just the preference. One's more of the mentality of orchestra and all of that, and the other is the, hey, I want to hear some jazz. I want to hear some pizzazz. Is that
Yeah,
the
I want to hear, the ocean or the a jungle or something like that in the background. That's okay if they want to play like that. That's perfectly fine.
So
They can
either
do it
one
like
has
that.
the same tones as in the background, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What they get is the same frequencies in the background. In the under the
Okay.
music, the frequency is going to be the same, but it's going to be the same result, regardless of what you do with the shape of the frequency or the kind of background you want to put into it. The frequency running below or underneath that music, it's always going to be the same, the one that the body resonates with and those emotions are resonating with.
Thank you.
Okay.
Back to your scenario, Augustine, where you said you had a girl that was, depressed and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Carlos, if you wouldn't mind bringing up Safi on the screen,
Sure.
because this is kind of what I do, and you can tell me if this is good, bad, what you think.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll look at the Cephii. If
Right.
I'm going to be doing something for someone for a continuous 5 days, 6 days, they're in the hospital, something's going on.
Uh-huh.
And even though I've gotten their one voice and I kind of know where they are, kind of like what you said, she was depressed, I'll go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and take the time when I come home. Let's say I'm running that Cephii that you did for her for that one day for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever hours. When I come
Uh-huh.
home, I'm going to double check because things change in a day and see where
Right.
that person is. So I'll hit reach and I'll just scan
Uh-huh.
and I'll write it down and I'll scan it
Right.
here. And then whatever comes up, I write it down. And then I'll hit
That's a
the next
perfect way
one.
of doing it.
I'll hit the next one. I write it down. I hit the next one and write it down. So here's their attitude and how they're feeling, right? The concentration, determination, finish. Okay, so then I go to the next one and the next one. And once I've got my whole scenario of how I think that person might be feeling, then
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of when I will go ahead into the custom playlist and do it for that next 3 hour session, 4 hour session, because
That's a
we're really
very good way
dealing
to
with
do it.
somebody on a emotional basis for that day, and we're trying to get
Mm-hmm.
through the trauma or through the situation or through the ailment or whatever it is. So if they come to me and they're like, I need you to do this for a week, then that's kind of what I do, on a daily basis, whether it's 2 hours, depending on if it's something not so bad, or if it's something like someone's, got diabetes and they're in the hospital, which I did for my father-in-law. So I was
Mm-hmm.
playing that day and night, coming back home, checking to see how he's feeling, rechanging it and scanning and putting the frequency all night long. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd do it again, see how he feels in the morning, and I would create a custom playlist and play it all day until I got back from work. And that happened for the whole week until he was able to get out of the hospital and go home. So that's
That's a
pretty neat
perfect way to
thing.
do it. Yeah.
But it's
And
a lot
just
of
as
work. It's a lot of
just
work.
as no, that's a great no, it involves a lot of work and I agree,
Thank
but
you.
Yep.
that's a great
Yep.
way to do it. Definitely.
I
And
agree.
just so you can keep this in mind, out of the first three options, quantum reach is going to be mostly emotional issues, mostly
Yes.
emotional issues. Quantum frequencies is going to be all physical,
Symptoms. Mm,
all physical.
mhm.
And quantum affirmations is going to have a combination of both.
The mind.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna
So,
put that in the notes there, but say that one more time. I'm typing it in.
yeah, quantum reach is going to be mostly emotional.
Yeah.
Quantum frequencies is going to be physical, all physical body issues, uh, whatever issues could happen with the body. And the third one, quantum affirmations, it's going to be a combination of both.
What about the rest of them?
Well, the rest of them are self-explanatory.
Okay.
Flowers, they're flowers.
Yeah. But
Chakras are the chakras. But the thing is,
Yeah.
if you want to work with emotions, you don't have to jump to one and the other trying to figure out what it is. Keep in mind this little trick information that'll help you go faster into what you want to work with. Mhm.
Yeah, so if it's a real serious situation, I'll go ahead and do the chakra again and see what's going on, if it's root or if it's, pleasure to life or whatever the case is. And I'll go ahead
Uh-huh.
and homeopathy to see what maybe homeopathy remedy I'll do. I'll do the flowers again just to kind of see again what emotion I'm dealing with, and maybe I can add the Bach flowers to the remedy I'm going to put together on that. I'll do the essential oils mainly to see what's going on, how they're feeling with, the oils. It gives you more emotions and stuff like that. And then I'll look at the
Correct.
AO minerals, and the minerals will tell me, are they depleted in minerals? So when I
That is
put
correct.
something together and I put it together on a custom
List.
playlist, then
Custom playlist.
I'll add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. But you can do up to 15. So
Yeah.
I'll
Up to
do
15.
those 8 for
Right.
sure. And then depending on those 8, I'll add the other few things I might want to add to do all 15, or maybe another 5 for 10. But I put it
Yeah.
in that category. And it does take a little bit of time, but for the client that's got an issue, they feel the difference pretty immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
That's really good. You can create some preset frequencies, like if you're gonna do flowers, do the 5 flowers for like the rescue remedy and have it
Yeah.
on your custom playlist. So if somebody has an issue right away, you can just add that whole rescue remedy that you already put together and imprint it or broadcast it with any other frequencies that you want to put into a list. So little things like that you can do ahead of time, so you can have save some time where you put it some together. The way that you do it, scanning each one at a time, it's time consuming, but it's very efficient.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's magnificent work. Thank you.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
only an acute, like something going on like immediately. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that takes time.
that's a good way to do it. Any other questions, anybody?
Put it to 10 here in Quito, Agus. I'm gonna be calling an eye.
Say it again.
Oh my goodness, he's getting tired.
It's quarter to 10 here. Let's call it.
Yeah,
Oh, it's late.
it's almost 10 o'clock. Now, this is very important. If you have anybody in the Hispanic community, anywhere from the Spanish speakers in the United States, all the way to the Patagonia, Argentina. We have groups in Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Panama, Venezuela. You can reach me, and we can have them added to we can add them actually to our Latin groups, and they can get this seminars every 2 weeks, because this is basically what we do. We actually go 2 hours every couple of weeks. Yeah, and Carlos is doing his WhatsApp there. Can you do mine, Carlos? Mine is, give me a second. I'm gonna do mine.
Yeah, do yours.
Mine is 619. This is US number. That's in the US. That's my number. So they can be added to the group, and we do this every couple of weeks anyway. So if we have more people in it, we're more than welcome to. And if you have anybody that might be interested on a live event, November in Quito, we're gonna have our 6th Aoscan seminar live, 3 days, with specialist doctors, MDs, psychologists, all kinds of different doctors and practitioners, and all kinds of information that you're going to have live for 3 days. That's going to be very, very amazing. Nadia Lutz is going to be there. She's great in so many ways, and you all know about her. She's also going to be one of the presenters in November for this 6th Aoscan technology seminar on November 13, 14, and 16, 15, I'm sorry, down in Quito. There's really
And don't worry about the language, because if you are English speakers and if you come down, we'll have somebody to translate.
translate.
Yeah.
Like we translate into Spanish when Nadia's speaking, or anyone else.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation, Guri. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. No, thank you, Carlos,
Thank you,
for putting all this
Carlos,
together.
for the time. I appreciate it. And if we can do
Thank
this
you so
once a month and
much.
like to do this again, we'd love to do it.
Sure.
There's some people that couldn't make it. We were kind of messed up on the time, and I apologize for that.
That's okay.
So-
That
This
happens.
is
If you
so
would like
great.
to pick up a topic and then talk to Goody, and then we can arrange another
You got it.
another
We'll pick a topic.
special thing.
If you want to pick up a very specific topic, like we do every single call we do, we pick up something very specific that anybody wants, and then we go through it.
Okay. I'll get back with you, Augustine. And thank you, Carlos. Get some rest. God bless you. And thank you so, so much.
Thank
I
you
love you all.
Thank
See you in September at the DOD.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you,
see you
doctor. See
also
you.
next month.
See
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Yeah, have a good
Thank
one.
you. Thank
Gracias,
you.
Carlos.
Thank you.
Elita, Tamika, thank you for being here. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great
Bye,
night.
doctor.
Bye-bye.
All the best.